What up, YouTube? This is Jonathan Bryant here on Balance and Beyond, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to pursue a guy without looking desperate. And if this sounds like something that's for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom and check out my links in the description box for additional resources. Alright, let's get it started. Intro. Learning how to date a guy isn't as simple as a 1, 2, 3 process. Dating in 2018 is a lot different than dating 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So you ask, how do you date a guy? And how do you pursue a guy without looking way too desperate? Well, first, it's probably important that we look into the history of dating and courtship and maybe get into a little bit of the psychology part of it as well. So let's dive in and see exactly what we can take from history and what steps we can break down to apply to your dating situation today. In the early 1900s, dating had a really bad connotation to it. It was seen as a possible illegal activity committed by women and was widely investigated by multiple commissions across the nation. It was looked at as charitable prostitution. So don't let me lose you here. You may ask, what does this have to do with me pursuing a guy, right? And well, what can I pull from this information? Long story short, dating was found to be acceptable after countless investigations. The point I'm trying to make is that even way back in the early 1900s, when men didn't really even understand what dating was, women were already making the first move as far as courtship. And it was men that was misunderstanding what dating was. They thought it was something illegal or something immoral, when in fact it was found to be very romantic, beneficial for making that human connection, and of course led to marriage shortly after that. So of course courtship was a thing back then, but when it came to modern day dating, at that time it wasn't as understood by men as it is today, where women are pursuing the men. But has that misunderstanding really gone away, or are we still dealing with that today? So here's an example of a mistake that women have been making even since the 1900s and that they're still making today. So let's pretend that you bought a book off Amazon and you're able to download it directly to your phone. And at the same time, you also downloaded the Audible version of that book as well. So you read the book and in its entirety, and you feel that you have a pretty clear understanding of the book front to back. And then you listen to the Audible and you're able to hear the author's voice, and you have a total different understanding of the book now than when you did when you read it. So what happened? Well, the difference is when you read the book, you're actually reading it in your own voice and from your own perspective based on the verbiage and the context around the verbiage in the book. When you listen to an Audible, you're able to hear the author's voice, hear the emotion come from the author, and get a little bit more understanding of the author's personality and perspective. So let's compare reading a book and listening to the Audible to reading a man and listening to a man. So why read a man from your perspective when you can just listen to a man from his perspective? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying that, you know what, men aren't really that verbal. And to us that may be true to an extent, but we're not as verbal only because we do tend to get straight to the point. And we have expectations for whoever we're talking to do the same thing. So keep that in mind when you're doing your best to communicate with a man. This is going to help you in your pursuit for the guy that you're trying to get. So let me end with these 3 final points, okay? This will definitely help you pursue a guy without seeming like you're desperate, okay? So the first point I would say is definitely be upfront with your intentions and not your feelings. When you're communicating through feelings, when you're verbalizing your feelings, they can definitely put a guy on edge. They may not necessarily be ready for your feelings, but they can most certainly handle your intentions. So that means be clear about what you're expecting out of the relationship, whether you're just looking for friendship or if you are looking for a relationship and you like to see where things go. It may be very uncomfortable for you to do, but definitely something, like I said, I would suggest doing or getting used to doing. And then when you're asking him out, don't ask him out. Ask him when. What I mean by that is it's very easy to get caught up in asking him if he's even interested in a date. And my advice for anyone, for a man pursuing a woman or a woman pursuing a man, is to set the expectation and the intention that you want to go on the date. Ask him when he's available. And then the third thing I would recommend is don't be afraid to initiate. If you notice that he should have made a move by now and he hasn't, then go ahead and make the move, or make the first move. Be the initiator. Don't be afraid in 2018 to pursue the guy and ask him out first. If you're interested, go for it. That's the best way to actually pursue guys. You gotta pursue the guy. You can't communicate through necessarily feelings, but communicate through your intentions and then take action on those intentions. So if you just follow those 3 points, you'll be able to pursue the guy with character and confidence and not look desperate. So the question is, what looks more desperate? You pursuing the guy or trying to get the guy to pursue you? Leave a comment below. I'm curious to see what your answers are. So if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and also leave a like on the video as well. Appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Peace.